YouTube, and welcome to the biggest layout update you will ever see. Basically, I've not done a layout update for about 3 months, I think, and an awful lot of stuff has happened. Usually I start a layout update with a scene like this where nothing has changed. But so much has changed on the layout that I've actually struggled to find a view like this time. I will be changing the style in the future, so you'll see me as I do things, and I'll upload it at the end of every month. That's purely because otherwise this keeps happening, and I've literally done so much that it's going to go on for about 20 minutes at least. So, let's get going. If I literally just come up here, straight away you can see something's changed. That's right, ballast has finally properly reached the layout and complete with weathering of this bit. That's how long this bit of ballast has been here. So I've done this with the usual technique, just watered down PVA glue, ballast, and then whilst it was sort of half dry, I've sprinkled a bit of grass on in the middle. That's purely because this line is supposed to represent a heritage line, and heritage lines they're not seeing 24/7 use. So basically grass has a chance to grow quite a bit around the line. And I've represented that just by chucking some in the middle. If you're wondering why the weathering is so heavy here, it's literally just the station. Now, any station that you will see where steam trains stop regularly, you'll see the tracks are completely black where the engine sits, and that's because all the oil and soot and stuff just sort of drifts down onto the line, and it's all horrible and gungeon down there. So basically at the end of both platforms that's what I've done, and I think that looks really good. I've done that just with a bit of, well, it's sort of powder weathering, but it's crushed up carbon from a fish filter that I've been using. It works really well. I've used it to weather quite a few things, and as you can see, it's come out really nicely on this. So from the level crossing up through the station, ballast has now reached pretty much half of the layout. Stops just up there. Then across here, up from the other side of the level crossing, we have some more ballast. That was the reason this bit's so randomly in the corner. Is I've done a nice edging matchsticks here. This whole little corner section here isn't going to be sceneryized. That's making up my own words now. Sceneryized. I'm not going to put scenery on this corner basically. This is going to be my little sort of workshop area, with the controllers obviously, and so basically I just wanted a nice edging on that, and so it's made out of matchsticks that are painted, and it's a bit of a mess at the moment because I've just been doing quite a few things, but it gives a really nice edge for the ballast to come up to, and then I can have all of my junk here without it spilling onto the track. Coming up from there, over the tunnel, there is even more ballast up in the station. Now this has been really heavily weathered. As you can see on the station side, not so much, but around the engine sheds, really heavily weathered. Now any heritage line, again, you will see that in the engine sheds where trains are constantly sitting, all of the ballast everywhere, even in between the lines, is completely black. If you look back at some of my more recent videos of the Nen Valley Railway, you will see that. So basically that's what I've tried to represent, and then I've got lots of little tufts of grass, just 2mm little lengths of fibres, whatever they're called. But they sit here. Again, I've weathered it with the same method, and it does sort of fade out as we get further away from the tracks. It becomes more and more light grey, and then just spills out onto the tarmac in the yard. I've repainted this road a little. That was a bit too dark a grey for my liking, so I've repainted that, and that flows. I need to get the edging right on here. As you can still see the old road markings done with Tipp-Ex underneath, and this whole sort of little section here needs completely redoing, I think. There will be some sort of village shop here, but these two cottages will definitely be staying. They may only be Hornby little things, but they do look okay. I might repaint them. It depends how bored I get. One major change, which you'll have seen in a channel update I did a while ago, if I take the engine shed off, that's just an old trying engine shed. I might be getting a proper one soon for Christmas. And I'm just going to lift the 4MT out of the way briefly, put it on the tracks over here. You will see concrete. So this is polyfiller, same method as Everard Junction uses. Great channel, check him out. Lots of people have followed his concrete method like I have. You basically make a mould out of matchsticks and put the polyfiller in. One thing I haven't done is put the polyfiller in the middle. I've left that to be ballast, but this has been even more heavily weathered. So you will see here that you can still see the sleepers in the all the oil and soot and stuff. But where in the engine shed, where the engines sit for really long periods of time, there's going to be even more coming down. So what I've done here is you literally can't see the sleepers in the middle part. It's just ash and soot all over the top. Same method again. I've literally poured out the bowl I ground it up in, and it looks really effective here. I should have mentioned that all of this is held down with not the ballast but the weathering. It's all hairspray holding it down, so I can rub my fingers on here and none comes off, whereas, well, before the hairspray it would all come off my finger, it would be completely black. But yeah, it's a really effective way of holding it down. And I think this whole area looks really nice. I've painted the concrete, then the polyfiller. To make it look concretey, it's been painted with a Humbrol 28. No, yes, I think it's 28. It's sort of a creamy grey colour that looks quite concretey. I compared quite a few colours to concrete that was outside, and this was the closest that I could get. Humbrol does do a concrete colour, I think, or they might have discontinued it. It's really, really greeny colour, though it doesn't look that good at all. So I found my own one. And then this has all been weathered with the same powder, same crushed fish carbon. And it's, yeah, it's quite nice. I'm going to completely cluster this up with all sorts of barrels and stuff in here, and then it should look like a really nice engine shed. At the front here we have a little crossing. If I run the other 4MT forward and take its tender off, you'll see there's another one there. These are plasticard sheet that had wooden slats on it. As you can see, there's some nice slats of wood, and then these have again been weathered. They're sat on top of a little bit of balsa wood, and then they've just been stuck in the middle, and basically it just allows the crews to walk across the front. And again, I think it looks quite nice. So tell me what you think of this whole area. I'd really like to know, because I'm really happy with it. But if you think there's something I can improve, just drop us a comment down there, and I'll get back to you. So down at the back of the engine shed, obviously the trains don't sit out the back here, so the weathering stops very abruptly and it goes back to a really nice grey ballast. And then I've just cluttered this up. This is all going to be repainted rusty, but there's some old wheels here. There's sort of foliage growing all over them. There's some old rails. And I'm going to put some more clutter again around here, so it's going to look really nice. It's going to be a really sort of old, abandoned bit of the yard at the back. And then obviously all of this is still going to be ballasted. Up round the corner here. There's going to be a water tower here, which I'm currently rebuilding. And you may have noticed that I did have the bus fleet, the Heritage bus fleet that runs with the Heritage Railway. Just secretly, they're actually some of my old toys. But these are really nice. Well, they're not really nice, but they're really easy little things that I can use for the Heritage bus fleet until I get some proper models. And yeah, I'm going to have these running all over the place, as you may have noticed. If I just turn the camera around a bit, this is in up at Rutton Station. We have another route master, Clydeside route master, and that's on this end of the Heritage route. Basically, my idea is they run from that station down across the level crossing. There's an imaginary road that's off the edge of the baseboard, comes up there. There's another one here that's on its way round. Most of these are all route masters at the moment, but I will be getting the odd RT, the odd RF, all sorts of things, hopefully. And then it runs up there into the station yard. We have the open topper coming in at the moment, and we have another one ready to go out. And then these two are in the yard, sort of not being used at the moment. That's these two down here. Sorry, I keep forgetting to move the camera. But yeah, so I've now actually set up this sort of little bus route. They were, for those of you who will remember, who follow my channel, there were 4 in a row here. None of them were running or anything. It didn't look all that good, because it's just, well, you know, buses parked at the station. It doesn't look brilliant. But now it is getting better, and I'm quite pleased with how this is looking. It's going to get better still, because this little paper sort of cottage thing, card kit, but it's not really, it's more for toys. It's just a beginner's thing. We're getting a proper little shop of some sort, just like the one that will be going down in this space. And so basically this whole area is, oops, flying shops. This whole area is now going to become quite nice. It's not just a random yard with a load of buses parked there, because it is a funny sort of triangle shape, and it was sort of just a triangle shape with buses on one side, a sort of half car park on this side, and it didn't really make sense, so hopefully it will soon. So, down actually in the yard itself, the actual yard itself, the baseboard, I did this was basically the first piece of scenery I ever did. I painted this car park, and I did the road markings with Tiffex. Since then, quite a few things have changed. There is now a station building here, When I first did this, the station building wasn't here, but this is the, got this a few years ago. It's the Hornby Scaledale one. I think it's the Northern Region one or something, but I like it because it's got the doors are the right colour for Midland Region, which is the region that my railway is set in. So basically this yard doesn't look that good. Now we've got it making sense with a proper shop and stuff there. I've started to get the yard looking as good as everything else. Because we have 2014 stuff, which the all of this has been done recently, and I hope you'll agree it looks really good. Down here, it's not looking so good. So I've basically rubbed it down. The Tipex, that light area around the markings is where it's been rubbed down. So although you can still see it, it's completely flat across here now. And the new layer of paint will hopefully go on quite nicely. Now, the roads over in Rotten here have been repainted. Now these roads were suffering from the same problem, but no more. I'm going to move the Clydeside bus out of the way. We're getting a bit of shine off it here, so it's looking a bit odd, but as you can see, it's been painted properly now with acrylic paints, looking really nice, and it has been slightly weathered with the crushed powder, crushed fish filter carbon, because those of you who follow my channel will know that I have a fish tank, and those of you who have fish tanks will know that there's carbon in the filter which you have to change every so often. And I've been changing it, and I don't know what to do with the old carbon. So I found a use. I've crushed it up, and it's absolutely brilliant for weathering everything. So the road's looking really good now. This area of gravel that's now been finished, it's got a proper edge, because this was all sort of all over the place before. The church is, well, those of you who follow my channel, again, I keep saying that phrase, those of you who follow my channel, but those of you who do will know that I have been planning a new church to go on here. Well, we've now finished building this whole hill. There's a proper hill of it for the church to go on to. It's all now properly grassed. This white bit in the middle is the polystyrene showing through. The church is going to cover that up. So far I've only built the porch, but it's looking quite good. I've put all doors inside and stuff. The actual kit itself doesn't have doors inside, so I've changed that about a bit. Now this is where it gets a bit confusing, because I'm not entirely sure what I said in my last update. So I'm going to let the camera do the talking. If I put the bus back where it should be, and I'll bring the ballast out of the way. This is basically what it looks like now. Can't remember what it looked like before, but there you go. That is everything now. Obviously the back of the church will come along here. The tower will be at this end, I think, but that's not entirely certain. I'm pretty sure that the tower will be at this end, coming up here. And then down here we have this little yard. Again, I can't remember if I said this to you before, but basically we have a nice little hut that I've repainted, so that's there. I'm pretty sure I did say this actually. Now you may have noticed that I'm sort of avoiding one area, that being this corner. Now this corner has changed an awful lot. I did just have, in fact I've still got the corner of the grass mat. This wasn't even a hill coming up here. This was completely flat, going flat with the baseboard. the fence wasn't here, that wall went all the way across, and basically I didn't like it. It was a bit too empty, a bit too bland. This area looks really nice around in the foreground with the tractor, the stream, the horses. So I thought we need to improve this. And seeming as canals track along with railways, or the railways rather tracked along with the canals, I built a canal. Now this is basically just this has been raised up with papier-mâché. It has a cardboard wall along the edge. Then we have layers of cardboard here to build up this side. This is just normal canal, but I'm going to have lock gates here, which should be quite nice. So this paving obviously isn't finished yet, but actually you get the idea. This side, as I mentioned before, is built up with layers of cardboard, and then to get the really nice edge that we have here, because obviously cardboard is full of holes, having the corrugate inside. So what I've done is I filled this entire side with polyfiller. Since I did that concrete over in the loco shed, I've sort of found polyfiller is brilliant for everything. So I've done that, painted it black obviously, because that's the colour that I'm doing all my edges. Now I've ripped off some of the edging here. This is all going to be redone to match what I've done down here. I might use polyfiller, but all of this was basically just like this, which is cardboard, basically just a cardboard edge stuck onto the edge of the grass mat, glued down to the baseboard, but as you can see it's a bit flexible for my liking. So yes, basically this all is being redone. I might even end up redoing the inside of the hill on this one, but we're gonna get there. So as for the canal itself, it's actually quite simply just gloss brown paint. It's not quite that shiny yet. Actually, you'll notice you're not getting much shine on the camera, but in real life we can get quite a lot of shine off of it from the right angle. So it's looking reasonably good. Obviously all of this is going to have nice stone edging putting on it. Instead of doing it with paper, I'm going to buy some proper plasticard, and same with this side. Then I'm going to get a canal boat of some sort, and somehow only have the front end of it and have that moored up here. And then this is a maybe. I'm maybe going to have the Iron Life Flood Rescue Team in their little rib, going up and down the canal with training, basically. So yeah, basically this is a little corgi toy set. It's quite nice. Comes with the Flood Rescue Team Land Rover and the trailer. The trailer is not so nice, as you can see. But the Land Rover is really nice representation of it, as is the boat. So I put the boat in the canal for now, and I'm just going to see how it develops from here. So the sheep that were in the canal up there have been moved all the way across the town to down here. Now they're all a bit knocked over at the moment, but basically the flock is going to be in this little area here. Some are exploring up the hill, some are going to be eating the bush, some are drinking, all sorts of things. But that should look quite nice. They're going to have this whole field to roam. Obviously I need to get a fence to put all the way along here to stop them wandering out on the road. But it's quite nice. And basically this whole field is going to be this house's back garden. The history is going to be that this was this sort of manor house in the area. Obviously this is another one of the little paper card kit things. same as the shop over there, though it's going to be replaced. So this is going to be replaced with something, but the houses were like this before. Going along the street, it was all very perfect, and I didn't like it. So what I've done is this. There is now this house on the corner, the little cottage here, and then this is a massive driveway for the big manor house, which is now owned by the trust. The National Trust now own this and all the land. They look after it, and there's quite a few railway photographers that come down here to get photos of the trains going past. And all of those photographers are wearing a path in the landscape, I'm afraid. As you will see along here, coming up down the stream basically. And then there's a little crossing in the stream where you're meant to come across. And yeah, the National Trust aren't too happy about that, but it's going along quite nicely in this field. Up here we have back to the railways land. We have this hut that I painted up. This was one of the Hornby Dudlow huts, and you will have seen this in my desk updates. And basically I've weathered that up. This whole yard is still to be built. Basically I'm going to replace these tracks and there's going to be ballast right up to here. There's going to be a mud track across here. It's going to be another scruffy little yard for the workmen, and it should be quite nice again. This lake is still being repainted. Obviously it's not going to be like this when it's finished. It's going to have nice little reeds up here. It's going to be a lot more scenic. There's obviously also going to be a lot of fence around here to separate off the different lands. Now the vigilant Munchie will have noticed this wire coming out of the signal box. This is then coming straight under the tracks here, going into the hill. Coming out of the side of the hill we have another wire. Well, the same wire. That then comes down all the way along to the controller. Well, not the controller, but another controller. This is a spare controller, and it's going to be used to power the lights on the layout. You'll notice there's a green sticker on it, and the wire coming out of it has green stickers every so often all the way along. That's so I can tell the lighting wire from all the track powering wires. It was an awful mess under here, and it's not that much better now. But at least now you can, when I've installed this wire, I've untangled a lot of the wires, and you can tell the difference between lighting and power to the track. So this makes the signal box lighting HQ. Basically all of the power from that is going to come into the signal box here, and inside we're going to have it splitting off into basically wherever light is required. You may be shouting at the screen right now going, just go under the baseboard, it's so much simpler. Well, I sort of can't. You see, my layout is based on a table. You can see the table leg there, and because of the table I basically can't go under it. But it's okay, I'm going over. Basically, because most of my stuff is track mat. Track mat isn't the best looking, I know. People occasionally say to me, I don't use track mat for everything, you know. Well, I don't entirely have much other options, because track mat is the one thing that will easily allow me to change it around. Not track mat, sorry, grass mat. It's the one thing that will easily allow me to change it around, and then eventually one day when everything is done completely, then we will I will do it properly. I will go over that with plastic-off, papier-mâché and stuff, and then we'll have a really nice layout. The only problem will be is getting to the wires if I want to change it. And yes, that is a problem. So there you go, quite a lot has happened. I'm quite pleased with it. There's still quite a lot more to do. Obviously, bits like this still need to be ballasted. But yeah, I'm still enjoying it. So I'd love to hear your opinions on the stuff I've done. Just drop a comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.